Western science says the nervous system holds the key to healing trauma. Eastern wisdom says how our energy flows through the chakras represents how aligned we are. What if they're both talking about the same thing? Let's connect the dots between the energetic and the physical and unlock a deeper understanding together. My name's Michael Perry, and I'm joined today by Justin, my mentor and teacher, and Heather, his wife.
Hello.
You just can't see her. She's over here somewhere.
This is the new Ashla Podcast. So we talk about chakras a lot on this podcast, and they're a really important part of all facets of healing. How would you define the chakras, Justin?
Probably similar to what everyone else would. I would say they're like these energy centers within the body, spiritual gateways where physical, emotional, mental, spiritual aspects of our being kind of intersect together.
Yeah. When each chakra has its own different function and facet, it governs different parts of our energy and our being.
So just kind of like the textbook explanation of what a chakra is. Before I do that, some of you will say, why is he saying chakra? It's chakra. Listen, just deal with how I say it, okay? Deal with it. All right. So chakra comes from Sanskrit, and it means wheel or disc. And each of these is like think of it like a spinning vortex of energy that's aligned along the spine, right? From top to bottom, from the base of the tailbone down here, all the way up to the crown of the head. So in total, most people traditionally say there's 7 major chakras, and each of them correspond to specific areas of consciousness, organs, or emotional states, and even like spiritual lessons. I've seen it described that way too. Each of them have like their own spiritual lesson too. But for us in our teachings, they're not just these esoteric ideas. We look at them as tools for alignment. We're always trying to align ourselves, right? We're always trying to become centered. We're always trying to find harmony, balance. So because these help us let us know when we're blocked or how good or bad our energy's flowing through us. So that's kind of how we look at that, because really our teachings are about integration, like we said. We don't like to be fragmented. We don't like to be 1,000 different pieces or looking at things from, like we said in the last show, but harmonizing all the layers. So kind of think of it this way. Your body is a temple. Your emotions are like sacred messengers, right? Your mind is a mirror. And your spirit is the source of that light that animates all of it.
I like that analogy.
And these chakras,
so would you say... No, go ahead.
These chakras kind of give us a map also, right? They're like we'll just say map. They're like a map, and it's a way to track where our light's flowing, how good is it flowing, like I said a minute ago, if it's being obstructed. And, we like to think of the chakras as a spiritual representation of our energy system. Of course, we have, and we'll get into this later, but we have a actual wiring in our body. But these kinds of things can be obstructed by things like fear, trauma, shame. It just creates a lot of imbalance. So just like we like to teach and learn how to flow with the force, someone who understands their chakras learns to flow with that.
Yeah. Well, it's so well said, because, we talk about these big feelings we get when we go through hard times. A lot of those sensations you feel in your body, it stems from the chakras, or better said, even your nervous system, which is a big part we're diving into here.
Mm-hmm.
That's all interconnected, just different ways to look at it as far as what's going on in the body. So let's go through the chakras and the strength of each one.
Let me say this real quick first. I mentioned earlier about how some people believe that the chakras also have sacred lessons to teach us. And I'll just go over those just real quick before I forget. And I don't know how prevalent this is. It's something I've heard and I learned a long time ago, but it goes something like this. The root chakra teaches security. The sacral chakra teaches creativity and sensuality. The solar plexus, you probably can't see it. The solar plexus teaches identity and will, kind of that fire, right? The heart teaches compassion. That's the sacred lesson of the heart chakra. The throat teaches truth. The third eye teaches vision, and not just seeing, but seeing, right? And the crown teaches divine connection. And when these things are harmonized, everything becomes a single unit, luminous instrument So I just wanted to share that with you real quick because I had mentioned it, but
Well, and you're right on the money there. I mean, each one of the chakras again has its own purpose, its own thing that drives that connection. So you're talking about the root and security. Well, the root is very much that. It is being grounded. It is feeling secure in your environment, in your life. I mean, you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is a big psychological concept of the different levels we go through to obtain a fulfilling life. And at the base of it is security, food, shelter, water, secure relationships, feeling the ability to be yourself around those who are closest to you.
yeah. And it's
And off,
really, think of it like a temple gate. It's like the first doorway through which our energy kind of goes before it goes up. It governs, like you said, our sense of survival, our stability. It helps ground our presence, right?
yeah. If you struggle with lower back pain, ask yourself, is there any area in your life you're not feeling secure in? Is there anything that you're feeling like you're constantly hyper vigilant with? There's been a lot of studies showing that there is a lot of association to issues with the root and back pain.
Mm-hmm.
And I know some of the few moments where I've truly felt like my security was leaving underneath my feet. I had really sharp lower back pain. It blew my mind, but there's a lot of stuff out there that go over this. And some ways to tell if this is out of balance is you got the back pain, anxiety, fear, disconnection from your body, which is a big one. Like a lot of people live outside their body and don't let their body talk to them. I was one of those for many years
Mm.
where I did everything I could to just tune my body out and go, 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 go. And sometimes it's telling me I need to rest.
Yeah, you got to look at the check engine light, man.
Yeah.
Don't ignore those in your car or your body.
Yeah.
And
But
you're
then
talking about when it's blocked, and it also can help you feel disconnected, untethered, anxious, constantly looking for danger and like, oh my God, and disaster. It's like it's looming all the time. Where is it coming from? Where is it coming from? But when it flows, you feel supported. You feel connected to the earth. You feel grounded. How many people
yeah.
feel how many people feel like they're not grounded? A lot of people struggle with grounding, and it's one of the easiest things to do. Take your shoes off and go stand in the grass for a few minutes, right? I mean, it's really that easy most times.
Yeah, they talk about there's ions in the earth that leave the surface that when you walk out barefoot, it goes into your own energy. It's something that can truly ground you. There's endless research about this, but grounding is something that most don't practice, but many should because it's a way for us to become present, to become mindful, because often we're so fretful for the future or with ourselves that we don't give ourselves the grace to be present. And presence is one of the most important gifts we can give ourselves because everything and anything that does happen doesn't happen in the future or in the past. It happens in the here and now, the perpetual present.
Yeah. And of course, we believe and we understand that we cannot rise into our authentic self without being balanced and without being harmonized from top to bottom. And we got to root deeply into, I'll say the earth, but we got to be grounded in our missions. We got to be grounded in the things that we believe. We got to be grounded in our purpose. And really to embody the force fully, there are some things that are related to this chakra that we got to say. You need to feel safe in your body. You need to feel safe in your mission. You need to feel safe in the now, in the present. So, and if you can't do those as related to the chakra, you're going to have problems. You're going to have blockages. You're going to have issues. And it may manifest physically. It may manifest mentally, spiritually, emotionally.
100% though. And another thing to look at is it's maybe not even necessarily not feeling grounded in your life, but within yourself. When you suffer from insecurities that are eating at you, when you're dealing with worthiness issues or feeling inadequate in the things you're doing,
Choking to
that,
death on water. The
that
water is
can
trying to
often,
kill me right here in front of everyone.
you ever have that happen? Arms above your head, it opens that airway up and chokes it out or shoots it out.
Don't tell me how to die.
I'm here for you, man. But it's learning to feel safe within your own skin
Yeah.
because many people don't feel that way. I know I didn't for years. And that's a hard thing to develop. It's one of those things that takes practice, 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 and
You
patience,
know,
patience, patience. It's changing that hard wiring in the back of your mind that keeps going.
You know those dirty P words. I have an affirmation for each of these too. So before you move on to each, let me know.
Yeah, go ahead and give it.
So the affirmation for our root is I am grounded in light. I am rooted in purpose. I am home with myself.
Oh, that's good.
Write that down, all of you out there. And before we move on, you guys notice that we're on camera now. We're going to do camera from now on, I think, unless we have issues. We were going to do camera with our Courtney, right? But we couldn't get it to work. There was something wrong with the planets or something. I don't know.
You're glad to be on camera too, aren't you?
Yeah, I know. Kitty cat.
So, the sacral chakra. Now, this chakra has to do with creativity, sensuality, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
It is the free-flowing expression of ourselves. And often when this chakra is not acting in alignment, it's because we aren't expressing ourselves as much as we should be or we could be.
Right.
You know, often there's many of us that go through stagnation periods of our life where we get sucked into TV and video games and staying indoors and doing the bare minimum. And this chakra gets impacted by that. Your libido gets impacted by this.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have balance within yourself, which also means there can be the extreme, whether you're partying too much
Mm-hmm.
or you're a little too expressive. You're going to realize there's a surge of this chakra, surge of this energy, which then impacts the rest.
Right. Yeah. Think of this as the sacred pool because its element is water. And water's one of my favorite things.
Scorpio.
Also think of,
Scorpio.
Scorpio. Yeah. Yeah. It's like this inner wellspring of creativity, sensuality, and really emotional freedom. So we think of this as, think of it like the well of becoming, right? It's where emotion becomes motion, where desire becomes creation. It's kind of that force that allows you to dance with life, not just survive it. So we're, outside of the survival part, we're starting to move up into where, wow, I can start letting loose a little bit. I can start expressing. When it's imbalanced, you feel the opposite, emotionally unstable, repressed, numb, creativity stalls, pleasure can become guilt.
Yeah.
You really forget, like when this happens, the sacredness of joy just kind of escapes you.
Right. I mean, you look at a lot of the bad habits like porn addiction and stuff like that. When you're overly indulging in these kind of things, you don't leave room for the expression where it could really manifest into something great, connection, sensuality with your partner. And it's so important to have, again, balance in your life. Because if you don't utilize these creative resources, it can be self-destructive. I mean, this is the energy that empowers you to create in the world in so many aspects.
Yeah. But when it's open and it's flowing good, you become this vessel of beauty and radiance. You really can. You start to feel more deeply and authentically. You create easier and more freely. And you can really honor that kind of inner passion and presence without being ashamed of it, without feeling like embarrassed or whatever.
Yeah. Well, and it's cat. Oh, there's something there, and I'm not sure how to formulate it into words. We have a duty to ourselves to utilize this creative energy, and not just when we are abundant and flowing. You look at many great poets.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them became great poets in moments of hardship through taking that pain they felt and utilizing it as an outlet for creating some of their best pieces. This is an energy
Every
that is
Taylor Swift song ever.
yeah, but it's an important chakra to learn how to utilize because again, it's not just for those moments of bliss and sensuality, it's to help let your story be told, to help let your own adventure unfold and to find your strengths in the world.
It's also the one that can be abused the easiest and the most. And it's really the one that most people, when they get really stuck, they get stuck there. We talk about trauma a lot, and many forms of trauma attack that center.
Yeah.
And, I won't use that word because we'll probably get kicked off the internet, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of these chakras, as you see when we go through them, you realize they're centers in which we store our trauma. Again, we correlate it back to the nervous system, and we have all this suppression going on in our nervous system in different areas that we have issues in our body that tie right back to this. And again, it's repressed trauma, it's unfelt emotion, it's unhealed wounds.
mm-hmm.
And that's a lifelong work, especially in this type of area. So you got an affirmation for this one?
I honor my emotions. I allow creative energy to flow. My joy is sacred.
That's good. Doing those affirmations, man. You need to just write a full book of affirmations. Go. I guess you've already done that with your Axiom book, huh?
Kinda. Yeah.
So the solar plexus chakra. Now, this one's an important chakra that I think many people struggle with finding the balance because it's where our confidence lies. It's where our personal power lies and our self worth.
Yeah.
And some people can be on the extreme side of that, where they're rigid in their boundaries and in the
Hmm.
way they approach life, and others who are passive and don't have that self worth to advocate for themselves, to set those boundaries, to do what they need to. And it's an important one to listen to because the way you learn just how finding the middle ground in that communication is you listen to when that system is talking to you. Think of a time where you didn't express yourself or you said too much. Feel that sensation in your body. Learn to listen to that sensation so that you can act on it differently when it comes up again.
Hmm. It is those things. It's also this kind of the seed of the sacred will. It's for us on our path. It's think of it like the forge of fire. That's where our purpose is forged into action because that's where our will is, right? This is where our purpose and our expression, we're going to get into the throat here, which is kind of the seat of truth, but this is where we start to kind of move outward. It's also the birthplace of our conviction. As you said, if it's too much the other way, then it's really rigid. And when this center is imbalanced, you start to feel indecisive. You start to feel powerless or even over controlling.
Yeah. Well, I love how you said it. It's the seat of will.
Hmm.
And willpower, as we've said before, willpower isn't something that you're born with an innate amount or you get some bright idea and willpower is born within you. You have
Right.
this shift in your perspective. No, willpower is cultivated. Willpower is something that you must constantly be pushing yourself to cultivate. And as
Hmm.
you do more and more, you can start implementing stronger willpower. If you have never been able to advocate for yourself, don't go stand up to the biggest bully. That is not how you flip that switch. No, start having hard conversations with people close to you. Figure out where you're at because the most important part of this is self trust. And you got to cultivate that by meeting yourself where you're at without judgment, without expectation, but understanding where you are in any part of this journey and then taking the steps to get up that mountain and not trying to find the quickest shortcut because you will always get lost if you do that.
Well, and to your point, don't go take on the biggest Goliath you can find because most of the things causing you problems are the tiny little things that just built up. So
Yeah.
you take tiny little steps and tiny little actions to start to clear that stuff off the board.
Some things to look at if it's out of harmony. Low self esteem, aggression issues, control issues, which we talk a lot about.
We do because it's
Man,
really important.
'cause you'll feel it when you try to control a situation, an outcome, a person. You are going to feel that in your solar plexus. You're going to feel that helplessness because you're trying to handle things outside of your control. And another thing, because I used to deal with a lot of self esteem issues, I had horrible indigestion most of my life, and it has improved dramatically as I've started doing this work. Again, it's crazy how the body correlates to these systems, how they talk to one another.
Yeah, all of these things are here. We just can't see some of them. Doesn't mean they're not there though. When they do what do they call those, like an MRI? When they do an MRI or something, they don't see these discs like freaking out and spinning in different, but they're there. They just can't see them. But when this chakra is in good alignment and open, we walk with boldness, right? Not arrogance, but boldness.
Yeah.
We act instead of reacting. We lead, not dominate.
Yeah. And that's truly the key right there when it comes to truly being a leader. We did an episode about that recently, and
Hmm.
it's the truth. A leadership feels strong in his decisions and in his actions, but is not afraid of talking about them or finding out they're wrong. It's being able to be sure in oneself without trying to compensate. So, what's your affirmation for this one?
I choose with clarity. I act with power. I burn with purpose.
Now, the heart chakra, which is the one I've worked the most with, because this is where I have most of my trauma stored.
Mm,
I've had high blood pressure since I was 18, which it has gone from hypertension stage 2 to I'm now at the bottom end of hypertension stage 1.
that's good.
Yeah, rapid heart rate, but it's all the self inflicted wounds of relationships. It's constantly carrying more than I should and learning to put myself first. Learning to love myself and not seek it elsewhere, I think has been the biggest thing that's helped shift that energy. But the heart is a beautiful chakra because that's for love, compassion, emotional balance, connection. It's where it thrives.
Yeah.
So often we talk about having an open heart and the joy we feel within our heart. And that's virtually what I think many of us chase, is that feeling of abundance we feel in our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
But out of balance, it can lead to chaos. It can lead to loneliness, bitterness, codependency, and even being closed off to love altogether.
Yeah.
It breaks my heart how often I see that. Many people go through dealing with one messed up person and they end up closing off to the rest of the world because all of a sudden everyone gets that label. Or they want to take on the world themselves because they don't want to trust anyone. They don't want to rely on anyone.
Yeah, it's the sanctum of light. It's where the seat of the soul, the seat of sacred compassion. It's really a bridge between our lower chakras and our higher ones that we'll get into. It kind of bridges all those together. It's kind of like the halfway point, right? But it's not where our purpose comes from, but it is the thing that empowers that purpose, that keeps us moving forward. It's like this divine empathy in action. That's what our heart chakra is doing. It's that kind of love that we talk about a lot on this show, that unconditional love. It holds space for truth and forgiveness. Really the kind of love that like Jesus would have taught. A love that heals and restores and transcends.
It's unconditional.
Unconditional.
Well, I love how you said it's a bridge, because it very much is. I mean, look at the lower chakras and they really have to do with the self.
Mm-hmm.
Yet as we go into the higher chakras, it's about seeing the greater picture.
Right.
It's about, like you said, divine connection. And it is the bridge of the self to the whole. I've never looked at it like that, but that's a great analogy for it.
Yeah, it's a bridge. It's a bridge. And when you abuse it, as you said, it really affects a lot of things in your life. When it's closed or blocked, I think you said it, we feel isolated, but we get bitter, we get cold. When it's open, we embody things like mercy. We forgive with strength. We love without losing ourselves because we're not attached to that. There's love without condition, love without unspoken expectation.
But it's like if you're feeling isolated, if people have cut you out of their life, it's like, listen for the message of what's going on. Often we want to fix everything on our own. And this is one of the greatest traps I see people falling in, is we beat up on ourselves so much in all the areas we know we need to improve, that when anyone tries to give us gentle feedback, it becomes almost an attack to people.
Yeah.
I was guilty of this for years, where I couldn't handle criticism very well because I was already telling myself that 100 times over in 100 worse ways.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, there's that one perspective in that message that could resonate and give you the answer you're looking for. You're so desperately searching your mind for. We often use the mind to figure out these deeper emotional, interpersonal, and spiritual questions. And the mind is just not made for that. The mind is analytical, and the separation from mind is so important.
It has its place. You got to get the right tool for the right job.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean we leave the mind out of it completely, but we let the heart step in front.
Yeah. And one thing with the heart that I know you've brought up before, Justin, is you got the heart mind,
Mm-hmm.
which, I mean, is the nervous system. You look at the cluster of nerves in your heart, it's the greatest cluster of nerves you have in your body, and it thinks like a mind.
It does. It has brain cells. It has like neurological cells that communicate. Don't forget, it's the first organ that develops in a baby human.
Yeah.
The brain is the last. So what's smarter, the heart or the brain?
That could be a great philosophical discussion.
Well,
to have
the heart builds the body, and the brain is the last thing, right? So
Yeah.
I would say the heart's probably smarter than the brain in its own way. Of course, the brain has a much different function, which is why it doesn't fully develop all the way until, you're about 23 or 25 years old or something, technically. I mean, that could vary, of course, but the heart contains the intelligence. Yeah. Well, think of it like this. The heart contains the intelligence to grow a whole body, to wire everything, to all of that intelligence that's just, by the way, it's been passed down for forever, right?
Yeah.
It's where the downloads kind of come from, and it's just, all your genetic stuff, it grows a body. That's all I'm saying. It's probably smarter in its own way.
It's the center puzzle piece.
So what's your affirmation you got for the heart?
Affirmation for the heart. I open my heart. I breathe in love. I radiate light without condition.
Beautiful. So the throat chakra, self-expression.
That's what we're using right now. The throat chakra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What ties to this energy? You got truth, authenticity, self-expression. I mean, it's where you can speak your mind. And yeah, sometimes our minds might be a little crazy, but it is how words are magic. You hear that term often, and I firmly believe that. If you were to deliver a message in the right way and someone believed it, though your words cast a spell on them to change their perception. And that's not a bad thing, but it is something that is abused often. But I think when we look at the different sides of the scale, again, too much energy, not enough energy. I know for those on the other end, it's learning to speak our truth. It's learning to speak our mind, to give our opinions without fear of retaliation. And it doesn't mean you won't always go that way, but we must be strong enough in our sense of self and our personal perspectives to put that out there, to be challenged. And with enough cultivation, then you can have discussions. And someone may have another perspective that has little puzzle pieces to your thoughts that you didn't realize you have, and you can create wisdom from that.
Yeah, it's just not the kind of seat of expression. It's the place of authentic expression where your inner truth becomes resonance. You're sharing it. It's outer resonance. It's coming out of you. In our tradition, it's kind of the voice of the force. Think of it that way. The voice of the force. It's not just what we say, but how we live in alignment with this truth. It's where courage meets communication, to your point. Where courage meets communication. Most oftentimes, courage is found in standing up.
Yeah, we talk about the practicing and meeting yourself where you're at. It just takes speaking up one time and then learning to do it more.
Yeah. Once you do it once and then twice and then three times, it's very empowering.
It's one of the most empowering practices you could do, in my opinion. I know that
Yeah,
was
it
something
is.
that I struggled with years, and it wasn't until starting this journey in the beginning of my hardships where I started being like, I can't keep being walked on. I got to express my mind. I got to give my input, especially in my workplaces. We were going
Hmm.
through chaos rebuilding the company, and it's like, look, I got experience here that no one has.
Right.
Listen to what I have to tell you because I promise it will pay off.
Yeah. And that's how we know it's blocked, is when we fear talking, we fear speaking, we fear standing up for ourselves, or we talk too much, or we just repeat. This might be a little controversial, but I'm going to say it anyway. We see a lot of people just mirroring talking points, just talking point, talking point, talking point, talking point. That could be politically, religiously, you're wherever you think this should be. But we see a lot of just parroting, and it's just constant, and people take that for truth, but it's not truth. So when you're all plugged up and you're all blocked up there, that could be a symptom too. But when it's opened, when it's flowing good, when it's balanced, your voice becomes like this sword of clarity, but it also becomes like this balm of healing, right?
Yeah.
Because words are powerful. Words have power. Let's just say it like that. And you have the power to destroy, or you have the power to build. You have the power to create sickness in another or yourself, more often yourself, or you have the power to heal with your words. It's up to you. And generally, you're going to do one or the other based on how good you're flowing, how open or blocked you are.
Yeah. So, what's your affirmation for this one?
I speak with honesty. My voice carries the light. My truth is sacred.
Ain't it just though? And that's another thing to take away is your truth is sacred.
It is. It is.
Which you believe is a part of your being, is a part of your reality.
Just don't let it be corrupted with false, with lies, with
Yeah.
deceit.
Get an outside perspective, preferably someone who's knowledgeable in the things you're talking about. So the third eye.
Probably one of the most popular ones, huh? I hear that a lot.
Yeah, you really do though. I'm opening my third eye.
Yes. Doctor Strange does it. He does this little thing where all his, like, he actually grows an eye there, remember? In
Yeah.
that. Oh, Grandma Jenny got freaked out when we were watching that movie at the theater, and Grandma Jenny freaked out when his eye just like bolt and it was like blinking and stuff and looking around.
Oh, that's great. So when you hear third eye, it's not talking about this metaphysical eye on your forehead. It's more just your perception of the things around you outside of yourself. Your awareness of all the interconnected parts. I believe this is where we really start getting into the higher self, as far as the clairvoyance to have when you are seeing things for how they are. And the more up close we are to things, the less clear things become because they get to be personal, begin to add ourselves onto the things around us to project our own views and feelings. And it's truly where intuition is cultivated, where insight is cultivated, clarity. The more we can step out of ourselves to look at a situation for what it is, the greater perspective we will have.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people struggle with this because, again, we get so lost in our minds and trying to make sense of everything. And again, our minds will do just that. It's an analytical machine. It will try to compute any equation you give it. When you start to see the humanism in every person, that the strengths and weaknesses, that no one is perfect, that there is no perfect situation,
Hmm.
we begin to accept things as they are instead of how we want to see them, which I think is one of the big transitions from youth to adulthood. You know, you go around thinking life is this simple thing: get through school, get a job, have a house. And all of a sudden you start realizing, oh wow, bills. Oh wow,
Bill,
relationship struggles. Children.
it's funny. It's funny you described it that way. And I will say though, it can be a metaphysical eye in the center of your forehead if that's what helps you see through it. But it's funny how you described it there because it really is like this command center, right, of perception. It's like,
Yeah.
there's all these dudes and chicks doing stuff and they're like, pushing buttons kind of, and making things move and whatever. But it's like this command center of perception. It is the center of perception, really. Um, this is the one that I really found like there's a good axiom for, and the heart one too. There is a good axiom for love will always subdue hate. But here it is perception is reality, right?
You know?
Because this really is our inner sight. But ironically, the sight is inner, but it helps us see outer everything if we practice, if we get used to using it instead of just our eyes all the time.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you brought up the whole perception is reality. So many of us live in these horrible worlds we've made up in our minds.
Yeah,
We have in these situations where we feel stuck. It's a theme throughout a lot of the things we talk about. The perception you have is only as limited as much as you're willing to see beyond it.
yeah. I always hear people talk about the Matrix. I have to wonder every time I hear that. I have to wonder how many people are living in their own matrixes. I guess that's how you'd say it.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I mean, I have this theory, not to go too far off the deep end, where it's like you look at collective consciousness and how people are becoming more and more isolated.
Hmm.
Well, everyone sort of had a group consciousness. Everyone had this group perspective when religion was much more dominant. We had much more strength in communities,
Yeah,
less communication through technology. And so everyone sort of was held accountable to a degree and was exposed to different thoughts and opinions much more readily. Well, now we're like dividing ourselves so much because we're all drifting into our own perceptive worlds and we don't like it being challenged. And it's breeding more and more isolation because it's harder and harder to find people who see reality the same way we do. Because whether it's the algorithms in social media or the movies and Netflix series we decide to binge, that's what's now dictating how we think reality should be and how people should behave.
yeah,
And it's just, again, I look at it as everyone's sort of drifting apart. Most people were on sort of a similar timeline with a few loose threads, and now it's just completely frayed where community is not nearly what it used to be,
yeah,
as well as belief systems.
yeah. And that's how you know that it's imbalanced or closed off because you start to mistrust what you see. You start to mistrust your intuition, or like you said, you live in that fantasy or that illusion.
Yeah.
But when it's open, when it's clear, you truly start to see things as they actually are. You can meet reality where it is. We talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
But you also have this where you can kind of see things in cooperation with your actual physical senses. This creates another sense that really gives you like this divine clarity. You can actually see the unseen. You understand things without any really necessary explanation. And that's kind of the thing too. So we think of it as an eye, and this is important to remember. It's not always doesn't always have to be an eye. Right? You don't have to use it to see, but you definitely can receive information through there too to start to know things. That really empowered intuition, I guess, is what we'd call it.
Well, and it's so true, though. I mean, that is how you cultivate intuition, truly. I mean, when we have such a rigid set of beliefs of how people are, how the world works, we become very closed off to the other potential possibilities there are. But the more we just accept everyone for who they are, one of the big things I've gotten into practice on, this is going to sound a little crazy, is treat each person you meet like they are Jesus. And it doesn't mean go worship them. It doesn't mean treat them like they're some benevolent being. That'll just probably freak them out. But it's just every person has inherent good in them.
Yes.
We're light that is just conditioned by our beliefs, experiences, and expectations. And that does corrupt some people, but even the most corrupt have that light. It's just how much have they tucked it away. So it's just the more I practice meeting each stranger I meet as myself, or as Jesus. You know, it's people want connection. They're just waiting for that handshake to be reached out to them. It's one of the reasons I'm so good with people.
What's the axiom for that? What's the cure?
I know it's not the accent, but treat others as you want to treat yourself.
Yeah, that's kind of the golden rule. No one is beyond redemption.
Yeah.
That's mostly true. Some people must get their redemption maybe in another life. I don't know. I don't presume to know that. And it's really not up to us to redeem them anyway. But it's important to remember that we should at least give them the space to try and be redeemed. But,
Exactly.
yeah.
Because again, just because everyone is worthy of redemption, but it's all about if they choose to walk that path.
Yeah, and
I mean, you look at a lot of the most tyrannical people who seek to control and steal the wealth or whatever you want to call it that they're doing. A lot of them are just scared and helpless, and they know no other way, nor do they want to pursue any other way because that would mean releasing control. Just as one subset
of course, and that's an extreme example. But
yeah,
that's the hang up people have with Christianity a lot of times is that, oh, you can be Hitler and still get redeemed? Well, technically, yeah. I mean, if you follow the rules, you go through the, accepting Christ into your heart and, I mean, is it technically possible there's always these fun debates that I always see about stuff like that, but it's always usually a hang up too, because a lot of people operate from the red and orange chakra. We forgot to give the colors as we were going along too.
Yeah, we did.
But the red is those lower ones. Most people operate from there for a long time. And so it's about revenge, 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 right? So, but we believe and we teach that everyone should have a chance of redemption, but but at the same time, we don't judge how that happens. We let them, because they have to atone. And that's where most people stop when we're on the road to redemption, right? They get to the atonement and now they have to make amends and atone, and that's usually where it gets, if they're not ready for redemption, that's where they stop. But redemption isn't something that we give others. If you trespassed upon me in a heinous way, not super heinous, but just enough for me to not be very happy with you, I don't want to see you, I don't want to talk to you, type of thing, that road to redemption starts with you trying to atone to me by apologizing or replacing things that you may have stolen or broken or whatever, and then maybe seeking my forgiveness. That's kind of the road to that redemption, right? And then, but and here's where the redemption kind of gets tripped up too, is that, after you've atoned, you've been forgiven, I've given you the space without judging you so that you can redeem, but you have to change your behaviors. You got to stop doing whatever it was that you did. And you got to commit to doing that. And you may falter here and there, don't we all?
Yeah.
But yeah, we forgot to talk about the colors. We got to the crown. Run us through the colors real quick, up to the crown.
Yeah, so so the root is red, which is a strong base color. Then as we move into the sacral, it is orange. The solar plexus is yellow. The heart is green. The throat is blue. The third eye is purple. And then the crown is white.
And some of those colors, you get some controversy. It's not purple, it's indigo.
Yeah, right.
It's not exactly blue. It's light blue. The heart can be pink too, not just green.
Yeah, right.
It's okay. You can use whatever colors you want. We don't care. We're not mad at you.
One thing I found interesting, I don't know if this applies to anybody else or you, or it's just a fun speculation I've had with me. I look at different phases of my life and my favorite colors, and I realize it's the chakra I'm most in tune with in those phases in my life.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I never really
just
thought about it.
Yeah, no, yeah. I just randomly came across, I'm like, man, red was my favorite color for a long time, and now green's my favorite color. And heart work has been like the main focus the last couple years.
Yeah, that's where you've had the most blockages, probably, huh?
Yep, 100%. Did you give an affirmation?
Our affirmation for this one is, I trust my inner vision. I see with clarity. I align with sacred wisdom.
Yes. So the crown chakra.
The halo.
Spiritual connection, enlightenment, higher states of consciousness. And I think the biggest one for me is connection. It is the energy that connects us not just to all people, but to all things. Hear a lot of people talk about lunar cycles and feeling the energy. I think that's where it ties in for those people. You talk about feeling the weather, comes in through there.
Yeah, it's usually in my knee, but yeah, that might be old age. I don't know. Yeah, I like to think of the crown as where your soul remembers its source and where we remember where we come from. On our path, it's really that place of divine communion. It's where we connect to the highest of high. And by the time you're here in this place, we're not separate. It's almost like we're home, right? For the soul.
Yeah. When you ever get that fuzzy feeling in your head when you go to a church or you're just around a bunch of people you love and it's just peace
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
love.
yeah. You just your vibrations are off the chart. Your body's almost humming. Like yeah, it's awesome. It's really awesome. And when it's opened, when it's clear and flowing, you move. Some would say you move beyond ego, but I would say, and I think we would say, we did a show about it. We think we agreed that it's where soul and ego meet in that harmonious state.
Yeah.
And you don't disconnect from things. You just see the world as sacred. This is where we start to move into that more authentic love too, because we start to see the interconnectedness of everything.
It's like I had that friend I helped out for so long, and as much as I hate that things ended as they did, I know that I left a good imprint, not just on her, but on her children, to
Mm-hmm.
see what good man looked like, to be cared for and to be loved unconditionally. And just the things we do in life, good and bad, they leave ripples
Yes.
wherever we're at.
Both good and
And the
bad.
best,
Yeah.
yeah, we want to strive to do the best we can to have the greatest impact on those around us.
Yeah.
It's one of the things about this path is it's a path of service to give to
It is.
others, because as you give to others, it then breeds that within them to try to become a stronger person and then in turn teach others to do the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You start to realize in this state that to serve others is to serve the source or the creator or God, if you prefer, whichever you prefer. You're serving your fellows, but you're actually serving the high of high, the highest of high, because we're all interconnected with that in that way. You understand that for us, the light has always lived within us.
Yeah. I mean,
Always.
they talk about when you're going through hard times, go and do volunteer work, do charity work. And yeah, there's that part of you could see situations that are worse than yours, but there's a sense of fulfillment that comes from giving back at no cost to just give, whether it's your time, your money, or your space. It's one of the greatest investments you can make.
Yeah. Yep. Our affirmation for this one is I am one with the light. I am connected. I am whole.
Yes.
Let's take
Yeah,
a
we
break.
should.
Don't forget to search for this. Let's take a quick break, like 5-minute break, so I can go to the bathroom and stuff, and then we'll pick up with the nervous system, because I think you really kind of have to go through the nervous system, even if briefly, because we're gonna start talking about how we merge the two, how we do that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so give me a second. I'm gonna take a break. I'll be right back. I was looking for an exercise. Do you have an exercise for today?
Yes.
Okay.
Now it's a simple one. I was just going to go over box breathing and then mindfulness, but yeah, and then I got a slight journaling. That's a good idea.
Take it easy. We'll see if it.
I'm not saying, well, hold on, because
Yeah. Bella time. She's too busy eating her hams.
really enjoyed that one.
Too busy eating her hams. Revan, are you coming back in here? You're staying out there. Are you gonna help me with the show, or are you gonna stay out there? Just if you let, just do it.
I usually just like don't say anything.
No, I know.
I just go like this,
I gotcha.
and then I make awkward eye contact with you when I open the door. Ready? You want to go see Papa? You want to go
All right,
see
come
Dad?
on. We gotta finish the show, Revan. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay.
Well, Kitty's finally sitting in her bed.
Yeah, hopefully she stays put. She was determined for a minute there. I'm like, oh my God, Cat.
She's like, don't talk about me like that. I see that look on her face.
And she's like, "What, bro? I love you. I love you. You're my whole world." And none of this goes into recording because it's just a personal theory. But after studying the law of one, I've come to this theory that animals, especially the ones that are pets, they're here to learn how to be people. And by that, I mean they learn how to love. Traditionally, most of us, if we're not crazy assholes, we love them unconditionally too. We teach them to cross their soul, to graduate kind of into a person.
I could see that. And this poor cat has been through so much bull crap.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, we had people yelling outside the apartment yesterday or a few days ago, and like
Yeah.
Penny, she used to rage all the time, and like this cat got so triggered, she's all high alert,
Mm,
like trying to look around, like what's going on. It's like you're safe.
yeah.
None of that here.
Yeah. But also to that point, animals are completely attached. They love us unconditionally, but they are attached.
They find their
Clearly.
one,
See?
their one person.
Yeah.
Are you attached?
Yes, she is here to heal you as you are here to heal her.
You know,
Well,
I'll tell you what, she was my saving grace through all that hell.
they do
I'll
heal us.
never forget the day Penny died. My sister took off of work and was like, "We're going up to Denver. We're going to find your cat." And we went and found her at a home. And
Oh, wow.
thank God I put an air tag on her.
Did she come to you?
When I got to the place, yeah, when she heard my voice, she slowly went down the stairs. She was all manged up because I think Penny bounced around different houses with her, and
Mm,
she was always rough with her.
mm.
That Spaniard style.
Is that what they call it? Spaniard?
That's what I call it. That fire was something man, I love Spanish girl. I love Latina girls, but my God, that fire.
They do have fire.
Yeah.
Looks like
They burn up fast though if they're not careful.
Yeah.
That's why I prefer to be water. Water's stronger, more lasting.
Yeah, I've always been conflicted of what element would I be most represented, water or air. I've always been torn between the two.
Yeah. I still say water's better. Bruce Lee didn't say be air, my friend.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
He said be water, my friend. Did you ever get a chance to listen to his daughter's book?
No, I need
You
to
need
get
to.
that. What is
You
the
need
name
to.
of that?
Be water,
Because
my
I get my
friend.
next credit in like a day.
I think it's called Be Water, my friend, and it's by his daughter. I mean, it's a much longer title than that, but if you,
I'm sure that'll lead to it.
oh yeah, yeah. Well, shit, I can look at it right now.
It's emotional.
It's good. It's really good, and it's not super long. It's like 6 hours.
Okay.
Mommy
see
must
here.
have food. That's why she went running.
How are you? We're in an intermission. How are you?
Yeah, it's called Be Water, my friend, and it's by Shannon Lee. It's good. It's really good.
I'll check that out.
One of my favorite books. It's up there for me. It's up there with the Four Agreements.
Damn.
I've never sent an email to an author before. I sent one to her after I read that book.
Wow.
Yeah, it's powerful. It's really good. All right, I'm ready to pick back up whenever you are.
All right, hold on 1 second just to make sure I know where I'm going with this. Because I don't want to get into the body systems because I don't know them well enough and I only have 3 of them here. I tried to find some more information, but I have to do a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah, just try to, you can just kind of high level kind of bridge the two. Yeah, that'll be fine.
All right.
Do have that light, huh? We'll have to test it later.
Oh, hold on 1 second.
On myself, my lower back used to hurt.
It did. Yeah, it did. And when you were plugged up here, it was hard for you to.
I was gonna say that too,
Yeah.
but that's a little extra for people's.
Well,
Yeah,
but it's true.
yeah.
It's true.
It's going good.
When I
About 70% through. Oh.
then that ended up hurting.
Just did another high intensity workout at the gym and it kicked her ass real good. Big old migraine and yeah, so got her a cool washcloth and was like, I'll cook dinner once I'm done here. You just relax. I got you. Teamwork, right?
Teamwork.
It's a dream work.
Amen to that. So, in this episode, we've talked a lot about how the chakras relate to the nervous system. And in Western medicine, we talk about the nervous system as a messaging system in our bodies. Often can alert us to if we have illnesses going on, if there's issues going on with our body. But I want to share with you guys an image of just how well this correlates with the chakras. So if you look at this, these different nerve bundles within the body are almost perfectly lined up with the chakras, with the crown, third eye, the throat chakra, the heart where there's so many bundles, solar plexus, the sacral, and then the root. And this is no coincidence that this is here alongside the chakras. Now, the chakras have been along for thousands of years as far as the understanding of them. This has not. nor has there been many correlations to the two until recent years, with science innovating like it has, diving more into Eastern medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And the nerves in our bodies and the energies that flow through us are deeply correlated with the actions we take, with the way we're going through life. We talk about emotions and feelings, emotions being messengers. Well, these are the nerves that these emotions speak to.
Yeah.
And it's so important to learn to listen to each of these separate areas. When you're going through something, listen to your body. Ask yourself, where am I feeling the tension in my body?
Right.
Because the more we can tap into understanding what energy is being impacted, the more we can start taking actions that bring us more in alignment with our higher selves and our authentic selves. Another thing that's really fascinating is you look at these different chakras, and there's different, I want to say, hormones that are released from each of these centers, depending on what's going on in our life. With the root, you have adrenaline, and it often is a way to prime us for survival, depending on what we're going through.
Mm-hmm.
The sacral chakra, dopamine and serotonin, which is a lot of the bonding, a lot of the sensations we feel, the joy, the feel good chemicals in our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to the solar plexus, you have acetylcholine. With the heart, you have oxytocin and epinephrine, which oxytocin is the bonding chemical.
Mm-hmm.
Oxytocin is released when you become intimate. Even a 6 second kiss releases oxytocin in the body. It's something me and my girl practice every day when we leave for work and when we come home. A 6 second kiss
Mm.
to get those chemicals going. With the throat, you have glutamate. Third eye, you have serotonin and melatonin. And then the crown chakra, you have GABA, which is another feel good chemical body stabilizer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, there's so much interconnected from these energies to our bodies that speak to one another. And it speaks to how important it is to get an understanding of these things and learn how to manage them.
Right. Yeah.
It's important to figure out where you feel out of balance. Again, my heart was always going. I always sort of neglected it, pushed it off, or took blood pressure meds. Like, I just have high blood pressure. And no, it's all these inner struggles I was going through, all these things that I wasn't doing for myself
Mm-hmm.
that was creating this turmoil within my energy center.
Well, and what we're talking about here is you have to understand that energy and physiology are not a separate thing. They are deeply, deeply interconnected.
Yeah.
Think of it like this. The chakra system is sort of that spiritual blueprint, like a map of how energy moves up and down through our body. The nervous system is the actual physical wiring. It's like the network cables that carry that energy, interprets experience, and maintains those balance or imbalances, how we know how we're reacting to things. So, the chakra is kind of like that spiritual blueprint, and the nervous system is a physical wiring. But remember, they're interconnected. They're not separate.
No, it's so well put, though, because it is exactly that. Electricity has to pass through something.
Us.
Information.
All things are energy. All things.
So let's talk about maybe ways to help us regulate these things. Often when we're working through this stuff, again, it's not the flip of a switch. It's practicing and practicing to cultivate the skills to get more alignment within our lives. But some things we can do to sort of help with our nervous system. One thing I've started taking up are cold exposure, so ice baths.
Hmm.
You do something like that. It sends your system through chaos, but it brings you such a state of inner peace. Your mind's going crazy, going 1,000 miles per hour. Hop in a cold shower. You'll be amazed how much it can help you ground your mind. And that's where I first started, was cold showers, just getting in there, lowering the temperature bit by bit, and then putting it in there, especially when I was going through hardcore rumination.
Mm-hmm.
It's super effective. One of the biggest things Justin teaches, breath work.
Yep.
That's going to be our exercise today, but breath work is imperative to help bringing your nervous system back to baseline. We talk about that often. You feel that anxiety kick on, and it takes breathing to kick on the parasympathetic nervous system to help bring us back into regulation, to back into a space of clarity instead of chaos.
Well, it's another bridge. Lots of bridges today. It's another bridge.
Yeah.
It regulates the nervous system, and it's our belief that it moves life force through our body back and forth. And those slow, deep, the calming breath that I teach you.
Yeah.
That calms the sympathetic nervous system. It helps release that onset of stress, but it also starts to activate those lower chakras, providing us grounding and presence. And once we kind of calm down, especially if you're going through an anxiety attack or something, just as an example, it brings you back to a place of presence and safety. Physically opens the spine, right? It helps
Yeah.
open up our bodies when we breathe, because we have to breathe into the chest and into the stomach. We fill both before we exhale with the calming breath. So it opens your spine. It opens the chakra channels. It soothes the vagus nerve, which is as you know, the main kind of physical messenger between your body and your brain.
Yeah. Which is what the nervous system is connected to. It all runs straight to the vagus nerve.
Mm-hmm.
Well said. When it comes to really balancing your chakras, when it comes to bringing awareness to them. Again, if you sit in silence, you allow yourself to feel the sensations in your body.
Yeah.
Meditation, visualize that area. What does it feel like? I know I talk about in a lot of my meditation practices when I'm feeling a heavy emotion or a sensation in my body, I'll just instead of trying to analyze what is this emotion doing right now and letting it take me down the spiral, I will sit with it and I will just give it a texture, a shape, a color. What does it look like? Does it look like a storm? Does it look like a calm river? Does it look like an inferno?
Right.
And as I sit with that, it begins to lessen and it changes shape. And I've had to go from feeling like sludge to feeling like a rainstorm in a jungle. And I know these are weird analogies. They're not analogies, weird interpretations. But as you sit and try to visualize the energy within you, don't limit yourself to strange interpretations.
Don't limit
See it
yourself
as
to
you see it.
anything. Don't judge it.
Yeah.
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 Let it happen. Don't judge it. I was going to say movement and stillness also, and you hit on the stillness part. So I'll hit on the movement part. Things like flow exercises, whether that's martial flow or saber flow or some kind of moving meditation almost.
Tai Chi,
stretching, yoga. These help us move the energy, because energy can get stored up and blocked up, and sometimes you got to just give a good stretch. And today was a day for me where I could not get enough stretches. I was constantly just moving every tiny muscle that I could and every bone, and I stretched myself into soreness almost in some parts. So yeah, that movement and stillness are good ways, and another stillness thing, prayer, or just simple rest. Simple rest, you can't, you gotta sit down every once in a while. You gotta chill.
Yeah. I know one of the things I did this weekend, because I've just been feeling like I've been using a lot of energy lately, is I just laid in bed. I put on some really relaxing music and I just didn't judge myself for it. I just let myself lay there
Mm-hmm.
and enjoy being still and just eyes closed, not trying to sleep. There it came. I was okay with it. But yeah, just allowed myself to rest.
Yeah.
And another good one for motion is walking.
Uh-huh.
Nature is so good for our nervous systems. To be in something where we have no impact on, where we're walking through it and we can see the growth happening, the animals in the wild, the birds flying overhead. Just they've had studies showing how healthy the sounds of birds are to our mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so true.
Birds and bees too. They have these places I seen the other day where you can rent them out for the day, but the part that you kind of sleep in and hang out in, it has an actual beehive underneath it. And they talk about the vibrations, the healing power of the vibration of those bees. I would be scared a little bit because I'm allergic to bees. My luck, I'd fall out of bed and make a hole or something and they would just attack me. But bees, it's the vibrations that they generate do that too.
Yeah. Now that's really cool. I haven't heard of that. I'm gonna have to look
I
into
heard
that.
someone told me once that beekeepers live forever. That's what they say. They say beekeepers live forever. And I wish I could be a beekeeper. I love bees, and bees are more important to me to this earth. I get it. But it's that whole self-preservation thing. I swat them away. I get away from me. Go over there and take care of the earth. Don't sting me.
Yeah.
It's my kryptonite. Bees are my kryptonite.
I finally found it.
Yep. Yep. Probably shouldn't have said that out loud, huh?
Here you have a whole bunch of people protesting outside, letting out bees, trying to get you.
I hope not. God, I hope they enjoy the show. Not trying to kill me with bees. Yeah, that'd be my supervillain origin story.
Yeah, right.
The anti-bee.
The anti-bee. Another thing you can do is working with crystals. We've talked a little bit about that on here, but like crystals are powerful. You go to a lot of these different shops that sell them, and they have little cards that tell you the healing purposes of them. Yeah, just like Justin's got around his neck.
Yeah,
Each one.
Heather made this for me. It's actually my chakra. It's actually for chakra balancing. When I meditate for that purpose, it's got all the chakra crystals on it. It's beautiful. She's really good at this.
We actually.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. She makes all kinds of stuff, man.
I have some on my wrist.
Yeah.
She's selling any of those?
Yes.
Yeah. Not super officially yet because we still have to get the website finished. But she'll make it for you.
Whatever you're looking for.
Yeah. So yeah, crystals are good. Crystals are really good. And it's one of those things where, again, there's like a lot of controversy in these are the best or these are the best or these are the best. The thing about crystals is it's that attunement. Almost like we were talking off air about your kitty cat and how she kind of attuned to you specifically when you said you were looking for her and she came to you. Crystals, you attune to the crystals that you need to attune to.
Yeah.
We actually have one for each.
So it's what it seems like to me. That's been my experience. I'm not a crystal expert. I do work with crystals. I don't know. I would show you, but I don't want to move the camera because I'll never get it back in that perfect spot again. But on my altar, as we were talking about with Brenta, on my altar, it's mostly all crystals. And speaking of that, when I went to that holistic fair in Pueblo, I found the crystal that she told me to look for.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
It wasn't.
That's awesome.
Yep.
It was in the ladies' secret stash because they're expensive and she didn't want somebody, I guess, to snatch them up or whatever. But yeah.
We actually
Wow.
have a bracelet for the mind's eye.
Yeah, we got a bracelet for everything.
Hell yeah.
We'll do a show on that where we'll talk about all the because it's very interesting. All the designs that we made. I basically created all the designs for lots of different purposes for different zodiacs, different things, and she makes them beautiful. She takes my ideas and my designs, and they're designed based on their attributes as you're talking about, because they do serve good purposes. And some are like a catch-all. Like amethyst is good for like everything. Clear quartz is good for everything. They're both good for healing and stuff. But there are some that do specific things. So I created all these things, and then I just said, okay, here, make them beautiful. And she does. They're very cool. We'll share more about that later.
Awesome. Another thing is smells. This is a big one for me. I have incense. I have essential oils that I use in my diffusers. Just like different smells can be good for different practices for the nervous system. I know I got stuff for sleep, stuff when I want to feel energized, if I want to get meditative, or then just want something peaceful. Like, smells can be really grounding as well.
Yeah, they can. I have a couple. I don't think you might have got these, and if you did, I'm sorry. Kind of back to how we teach about this. What did Brenda call it? Radical responsibility.
Radical responsibility.
Right. One thing also to kind of bridge these things is emotional honesty, because our chakras hold emotional memory. I think you said it earlier. And so each chakra holds this emotional memories. Our nervous system responds to that, either making us feel safe or unsafe, or emotions out of control, emotions in control.
Yeah.
And again, as we've said many times, and we'll always say it when we talk about emotions, mastery over our emotions doesn't mean controlling our feelings. It just means surrendering to what they're trying to tell us. Remember, we kind of see them as these messengers, and they use the nervous system to help make that clear, as you said earlier. We surrender to the message they give us without judgment, but also without letting them take the wheel. So emotional honesty is one I would add.
Yeah. Well, one thing, I've brought it up a lot on here. I like to look at emotions, especially when we go through traumatic events, that emotions are like it's like a battery, and energy is being stored, and it's in these centers, they're being stored. And so when you go through a situation that mirrors a past experience, even if it's just by a little bit, energetically, if it matches it, though, you're going to trigger all these emotions you've pent up. You ever get super mad over something super small just because it's something you've been through before?
I do.
This is exactly what we've talked about on here, just it described in a way that it's the definition of how it happens and not just the brief summary of it. It's one of the reasons it's so important to really start doing this work. As you start healing, usually it gets harder before it gets better, but it's because you have all these emotions, all these things you've repressed, and you start working through them. As you start to discharge that energy, you can restore the events that happen in your life. And as you begin to do that, you gain power over your life and your circumstances. And that discharge then leaves room for more situations to come up in your life that originally might have triggered you, that you could approach in a much stronger place.
Yeah. So kind of my final thought on this integration. Before I do that, what about touch and visualization as tools?
Yeah, visualization's real powerful, and same with touch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I truly believe we got to, the more we dwell in our doubts, our fears, that's visualizing just as much as dreaming of your dream home.
Mm-hmm.
Visualization is so powerful
Because your perception is your reality.
yes, perfect way to bring it all together right there. And then touch. I mean, I was talking about me and my girl when we, every morning, every night, we got that 6 second kiss.
That's what
Yeah,
brought it up
before
for
we,
me. Yeah.
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 And then
And you said earlier, I don't know if we said this on the show, it might have been offline, that you guys have this thing where when you see each other, at the end of your days, you make sure that you do a little cuddling and
you
to
know,
kind of reset everything. I mean, it's powerful. Hugs,
yeah. What another
hugs are
level is,
powerful.
yeah, hugs are so powerful. That's one of the reasons I love to give them out.
I do too. I do
One
too.
of
I
the
know I
other
look
things
big and
we
scary, but
practice.
I do love hugs. I promise I won't crush you or suplex you or something.
Knock on wood.
Thing.
To each their own.
I'm happy to suplex or hug. Let's do it.
That's but we both are practicing in Reiki, so I'm only level 1, she's level 2.
Yeah.
But at night before we go to bed, we always cuddle, and usually wherever our chakras have been impacted the most today, where we need a recharge or just we're going through some stuff, we do
Mhm.
energy work on each other while we cuddle. So she almost always has her hand on my heart. I'm usually working on her head or on her back.
Mhm.
And man, it's just this beautiful synergy of energy and peace because it soothes us while also revitalizing us.
So now I'll get to my final thought on this, on the ways we can bridge them and connect them. Just again, remember the chakras and the nervous system are like two mirrors of the same truth, or two sides of the same coin. They are interconnected. They are just one's physiological, one's spiritual, I guess is the best way to say it. Uh, but remember, you are more than a body. Your body is sacred. You are more than your thoughts, but your thoughts can be gateways. Perception is reality. And that your healing is energetic and biological, emotional and spiritual. And to touch both of these things is to really help fully step into your power. That's what I'd say.
So, for you journalers out there, I got a simple prompt for you today, and it's asking yourself, what chakra feels the most out of line for you? If you don't know what that is, sit in silence. Just sit there, allow thoughts to come up, and see what arises in your body. Figure out what chakra is the most out of alignment and where in your body you're feeling that. Now, begin to write and just begin putting down different things you think could be impacting it. Let it come naturally. Don't put a lot of thought into it. Allow yourself to just journal out the things that could be impacting this energy for you. Then, after you're done, after you feel you've exhausted your resources on that, evaluate that list. See if any of it triggers or resonates with that chakra or that pain, and then utilize that to reflect.
And I'll just add to that, Michael, if you're not sure how to kind of determine which chakra feels most out of alignment, if you're very new to this, go to YouTube and look for a really simple, basic body scanning meditation or something like that. It'll really help.
Yeah,
It could even be a guided meditation. But
no, good call on that.
yeah. But as you pointed out, a good way to see it, if you don't want to do a body scan, energetic body scan, just, yeah, where are you tense? Where does it hurt? Is it in your neck? Is it in your back? Is it in your stomach or I hope your heart isn't hurting. If it's hurting, go see a doctor or something. Go
Yeah.
emergency room or something, probably, depending on how old you are. But yeah, body scanners are good, and it's a pretty simple thing to learn and practice. So, and that kind of helps you feel out the energy part of it. As a Reiki student and practitioner, body scanning is very important for you. So, right. So, anyways, I just wanted.
No, that's good. That's good to throw in there because some people may be completely new to this, and it's important that we meet ourselves where we're at, right?
That's right. That's right.
So for an
And it's okay
exercise
not to
today,
know something. It really is.
yeah, 100%.
Ignorance yet knowledge.
So for the exercise today, I was going to teach box breathing, which box breathing is a very simple form of breathing. Later on, we'll be going into a lot of the more advanced types of breathing techniques that can help you on your journey, but box breathing is a real simple one that you can remember and utilize whenever you're starting to feel triggered, overwhelmed, whenever your nervous system needs to be brought back to baseline. And it's a simple 4-second breath in, hold for 4 seconds, out for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, and then going back through it. So 4 seconds in, hold 4 seconds, out 4 seconds, hold 4 seconds.
That
And it's
sounds
just
like the calming breath technique, doesn't it?
I do that.
just a wee bit.
Someone hasn't been practicing their calming breath technique very much lately.
It was the rolling breath that I found the most powerful out of the breaths.
Oh, the rolling breath.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
At some point, we're going to go through all of those. We just got to figure out where they fit. But yeah, yeah, the rolling breath. Oh, yeah. We're talking about chakras and energy. That's the one that really brings it out in you. Yeah. Yeah, you feel things.
And one other thing to give as an exercise, mindfulness. And this is something Justin has taught me a lot on. It's one of the areas I struggled the most. And I'll never forget the analogy he gave me as I was like, I'm trying to be mindful. What are some ways to be mindful? He's like, man, just think if you're grilling a steak, listen to the sizzling of the steak.
Yeah.
Watch the juices coming out. Be in the moment with what is happening around you. Pick something and focus. You know,
I used to do with dishes. Dishes was my thing that I had to learn mindfulness with.
Yeah.
Because you could see every little bubble, and when you really focus in, you can see the colors in the bubble, and there's just all this stuff. Dishes is very a chaotic thing, but if you really focus in on one thing at a time, what does a sponge feel like? How does it feel when you put your hand in there? You know, stuff like that.
Yeah. How would you define mindfulness if we were to give it a definition?
It is the willful act of awareness to literally what's going on around you. So, you know, I'm going to take a drink of my water, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm feeling my hand around the bottle, and I feel what the bottle can do and how taut it is or how much it gives. Can it make noise? Literally every step of this, the lid feels different. It's got ridges on it, right? Can you hear that? Right? And I'm taking the lid off. I'm being mindful. And I'm bringing it, and it feels different in my mouth than it does going down my throat, on my lips. It's just the willful awareness of everything that's going on. The most minute details sometimes.
Yeah.
Because what we do when we practice that enough, and it seems silly, okay, yes, just drink the water, right? But if I practice drinking the water in that way, where I take in every single sensation, I take in every single action. What that does, you do that practice over time. When you're out in the wild and something pops off, you will automatically pay attention to the most important things and details that are going on. That's why people are horrible witnesses, right? Something bad happened and people are horrible witnesses, not because they're dumb or because they were paying attention, but they're not very mindful. So they don't pick up on the little things that might be happening that might actually,
tie it together.
Yes. Detectives are very mindful people. I don't know if I've never asked a detective if that's how they learned how to be. They just seem to be naturally mindful. Generally speaking, most of us are horrible witnesses because of all the other things going on. But if you practice mindfulness a lot, if you do it, at least if you practice it once a day with some action, like you said, cooking your food, for example, you'll become a much better witness to the world, not just for a crime or something, but to the world. And as you practice mindfulness more and more, as you take your walks out in nature, which are good for you, right? You'll start noticing things you never noticed about nature at all. You'll start seeing you'll see bugs that you never knew existed, and they're just kind of like little wispy things, and you're like, wow, I've never seen that before. Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, mindfulness is powerful. It's great for grounding.
It is. Yeah, it is. Well, and even on that other whole other level, away from the spiritual level, it really does help you calm down, helps you ground. It helps the nervous system chill out. Because if you're not being mindful, it's just, everything's going on. And when you start being mindful, you start focusing more and more and more and more and more on a singular focal point. You'll calm down. It helps you calm down most of the time.
Well, we hope you enjoyed our first visual session and appreciate you joining us this far. With love and gratitude.
I want you guys to know Michael said that I had a face fit for radio.
He does, doesn't he?
We love you guys very much. We really do.
We appreciate your time a lot, too. I'm glad you're joining us on this journey.
Thank you all so much. With love and gratitude. Ad Lucian.